What?
And we're live!
Why is this not... What in the world? Sorry, guys.
Brother, it's not like you do this all the time. No worries. Stuff happens. Oh, dice. Yeah, I should probably get those.
Oh, that's right. Online dice roller.
I want dice to play the Dungeons and Dragons thing.
This is silly. You stupid thing. Here we go. All right. All right, let's pretend that we're going live, okay?
Gonna pretend?
I've been pretending the whole time.
And 3, 2, 1, and we're live! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Invictus Community Stream. This is our Call of Cthulhu Darklight number 2, or episode number 2. So we appreciate you guys coming and watching and supporting us. We'd also like to... So we're Invictus Community Stream. We're a part of a Facebook group, a group of people that watch weekly the Invictus Stream. You can catch them on YouTube at the Invictus Stream. You can also check out Dice Stream, their podcast, where they're really rocking their episodes right now. So make sure to catch that out. That's a lot of good stuff that you can catch during the week as you're driving. Or doing whatever, mowing the lawn, whatever, however you want to do that. Anyway, go check that out. It's pretty cool. So, and also too, we are a bunch of people that are on the Invictus community. That's the Facebook group. So if you can go find Invictus community or Invictus Stream on Facebook, you can send a request and we'll add you and you'll be a part of the Invictus community family. So we'd really like to have you guys. Also, too, there's a Discord, so make sure to check that out. Before we get started, this is, again, the Call of Cthulhu Darklight Episode 2, and I'd like to get everybody kind of refreshed a little bit as to introduce you guys to the characters that were in our first episode. If you haven't seen that yet, go ahead and go on back. You can catch this. This is going to be recorded live, and it's going to be recorded and put up on the stream on the YouTube channel. So so go ahead and check that out, and then come back and join us here for our second episode. All right. So I'd like to give an introduction. To my right, we have Bob Lyle.
Hello, good morning.
And Bob, can you tell us who you are playing?
I am Nathaniel Cade. I'm a Pinkerton agent sent to this town, and something has happened to my daughter, as evidenced in episode 1.
Daughter or niece?
Yes.
Niece. Let's see.
She's like a daughter to me.
Yeah, there you go. Mike, can you tell us a bit about, so introduce yourself, your character?
Absolutely, darling. I am Aaron Longfield, a nurse, and I've come here to find my acquaintance gutted and killed, who is also, incidentally, the niece.
And Terry.
Oh, yeah, Jedediah Erickson. Yeah, that's bookstore owner in Kingsport there. And, I just got back into the books, and then I ran into these kids. Next thing I know, there's dead people and whatnot. I don't know. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
Awesome. So Terry's playing our eccentric old man Jedediah. So, awesome. Perfect. So, all right. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start our intro. And Mike, if you can do that for us.
Sure. Just scream when you want it off.
Alrighty.
All right.
Oh, no audio.
No audio? I will solve that momentarily. Or not. No audio?
No audio.
Great. Send me the link again. I will make it happen. There it is.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Probably still no audio, right? No audio.
No audio.
Wonderful.
Yeah. All right. So, anyway, let me see how we can do this real quick. Okay. Right now we're jumping back to the last basically 5 minutes of the last game. We're unable to share that with you right now, but so basically it opens up with Nathaniel Cade. Our characters are at Jedediah's bookstore. They are driven there by a taxi driver. The taxi driver is shot by Nathaniel Cade, and Cade proceeds to explain why who this person is, why he shot this person. It wasn't a brutal, senseless act of violence, even though it was very much portrayed so. Jedediah is very, again, this is his store, this is his place, and seemingly he sees a murder happen at his store. So again, he rightfully gets excited about it. With that being said, Cade continues to explain that that this person has been spying on us. This was a taxi driver that had been taking us around all throughout the day since we arrived in Kingsport. So he was very overzealous and really wanting to stick with us. So anyway, Cade continues to expound on why this person was of interest and why he needed to be basically disposed of. So we kill him. Aaron is able to open him up, and because he has they take his shirt off and they see that there's a Y incision, so that Cade is explaining that this person is not really a person. This person is this. Anyway, so we find this corners type of a cut, and it's sewn up, and we open it up and we see that there are actually 2 organs in there, or a couple of organs. One of them being a set of hearts. So there's 2 hearts in there. I believe both are bound and wrapped in gold wire. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And do I have that right? That he's the one that has the extra organs?
Yeah, he's got extra organs.
Okay. So he continues to explain that we needed to burn the body, dispose of the body very quickly. So again, tempers are flying with Jedediah and Cade. Cade pulls a gun out and screams and says, why is this happening? And then Cade explains what's exactly going on. With all this commotion, Lawrence, my character, he picks up the body and walks him over and puts him in the trash can, and they light him on, and he lights him on fire, just because something needed to have been done quick before sundown, is what Cade explained, that the body needed to have been disposed before dark. So Lawrence lights it up, and that body catches on fire really quick and is basically burned to ashes almost instantly. And at that point, with everybody being distracted, they hear some sounds, and off in the out of the corner of basically like the garage, and in and this is out in the back section of the house slash bookstore of Jedediah's. So the cult so you see some bodies kind of come through, some people come through in robes. Is that correct? Am I setting that up correctly? Okay.
Yeah, they just appear out of thin air.
So they appear out of thin air, and they approach. So we basically end at that portion with the characters realizing that that these dark robe figures have appeared, and they assume that these are the cultists at this point. And anyway, and then that's where we ended our last game. So with that being said, with that setup, so all the characters, so everybody's standing there, Lawrence, Cade, Aaron, and Jedediah is standing there as they see these figures appear. One figure steps forward. What is your purpose?
To sell more books, Chief.
Do you know the Black Goat? Do you know the Black Goat? So as the cultist looks at you, he motions for the cultist, and they start surrounding.
Do I?
Do what?
Then you're good.
Oh, I thought somebody said something. All right, so the cultists they wrap around. They start to slowly wrap around, encircle all of you together. You all are standing still, and the cultist starts chanting. As each member moves slowly around you, everybody, each one is chanting the same. The same chant over and over, so they start to envelop you. Yeah, go ahead.
How close are we to the taxi cab? Isn't that in the garage? Are cultists between us and the garage?
So as far as where you are
in a garage.
Uh-huh.
I was just wondering, are there cultists between us and there?
So right now they've completely surrounded you. That there's basically there's no way for you to really kind of move it at this point as they're starting to kind of move around. So this is all kind of happening pretty quickly, and all of you are just kind of observing at this moment, kind of try to get your bearings as to what's going on. So the cultist starts this chant, and you see. So Lawrence, you all kind of notice Lawrence, and he starts making a snapping sound with his fingers, and you all look at him. You need to distract them. I need a distraction.
I'm on it. I'm going to aim at the lead cultist. And I yell, their voices are their weapons. We have to, go for the throat. And I aim and I squeeze off around.
Okay. So as that's happening, you see Lawrence. He kind of scoots over to the barrel, and you see him reach his hand down into basically the trash can or the burn barrel or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, he reaches down, and you see him wince as he grabs and he pulls out his hand, and you see that he's got a full thing of ash, like what you would perceive as probably ash around. And then as Cade pulls off the trigger, or pulls off the round, and you hear the report, It's real loud and deafening, and you see it go through. You see it as the person, the cultist that Cade shoots at. You see that person that they keep moving. Cade, what do you continue to do? Do you what are you doing after you see that basically the bullet goes through? What you think? You don't see that person stop, basically.
Yeah. Well, I was aiming for his head and throat area, so I'll adjust my aim a little bit and go center mass.
Okay. All right. As you collect your thoughts and you basically kind of recompose and you start to draw your gun again, or basically you're basically resetting yourself and you're ready to shoot again. So before that happens, you see Lawrence start to walk in a circle. Can we? You see him start to walk. As he's walking, Cade shoots again, and again the same thing happens again. The bullet doesn't affect, as far as you can tell, that it actually hit the actual person, but the cultists, but they continue to move. Let's see. So can we get either Jed or Aaron? I'd like to give you guys a chance to do an investigation roll, please.
Sure. Investigation. Wait a minute. You want research? Do you want knowledge of some kind? What do you want, bud?
It's going to be like observation, basically.
Gather information.
Mm-hmm. Whatever your best investigation type of a roll or observation, whichever one you want to use there.
On that then.
Did you say you rolled a specific number?
Yeah, 23. Sorry.
23. Okay. And is that with modifiers?
Yeah.
How many modifier?
12.
12. Okay. Okay. So you see that Lawrence is doing something. You can't really tell what exactly. But you do see that he is starting to walk, and the way that he's walking is, again, very differently. Like, he actually starts walking in a circle. Once he kind of completes the circle, again, he's kind of doing this a little bit fast, but as he's walking, you do notice that the ash from his hand is coming out behind him, or to the side of him. He basically has it kind of on the side of his hands, and you see the ash kind of falling as he's walking. So you can see that he's actually almost walking in a pattern, and you can see that the ash is falling around him in a pattern. As that is going on, Cade is still there trying to. He shot the first time. What he thought was he missed on the headshot. He went center mass. He fired again. That cultist is still proceeding. Again, they're all enveloping you guys, and they're starting to kind of close in. As they don't seem to really notice too much about what Lawrence is doing. They don't really care that they're being shot at. Go ahead, Terry.
On a 21 occult roll,
Uh-huh.
do I know about the Black Goat, and do I know about these cultists?
No. You know who they are. You know, like, that this is definitely not right, and the Black Goat does have a little bit, like, so it's kind of like a memory, I think, that's tucked back there in your head, but it's just like you can't figure it out. You've got a lot going on right now, so your emotions are running high, so that's kind of clouding it a little bit. There is a possible right now you just can't remember. Does that make sense? Cool. All right, so as this is happening, as Lawrence is moving, the cultists are slowly moving around. They're chanting. As they get closer, you can see that Lawrence has completed the circle and has started part of the actual design inside. Like he's walking, and you can see a design that he is actually making. Let's see, Aaron, can you give me an investigation roll, please?
Absolutely. 17 plus 23.
Okay, cool. All right, so what you notice about this circle as it's being completed, you can see that it reminds you of something that you remember earlier in the day. You remember the the pursuit at the university where you chased Sarah Cade's assistant, and you chased the assistant to the as you guys got to the room. When you opened the room, you saw that there was a person who you perceived that had slit themselves open. You remember that they had slit themselves open, or from what you can tell that happened, but specifically what you remember is the pattern that was down on the ground. Again, and that was where the portal actually opened up, or something happened and that the assistant that you were running after disappeared. Basically, once you saw that person had completed what you thought was probably a ritual. So as that happens, so this is kind of what you're noticing. You see Lawrence complete the design. He looks over at you and he gives you a wink. And so as that happens, everybody's the cultists surround and get closer and closer and closer. You guys feel like you cannot move. There's this cold, pounding pressure around you. Then you start. Then the head cultist that you can tell that had been talking to you before, I had walked straight towards Lawrence, and Lawrence walked up. Or sorry, as the cultist comes forward, Lawrence flashes that you see a glint. Almost as dusk is happening, you see a glint come across. He swipes his hand across what would be the cultist's neck, and you see that the blood, like black blood, spurt out of the cultist's neck. The cultist drops completely. Basically, he just goes limp and drops completely. You can see black blood pooling over. It's almost got like a greenish black tint to it. At that point, immediately, all the cultists draw guns and fire upon Lawrence. Lawrence drops dead from several gunshot wounds. Aaron, the sounds start to muffle. You hear chanting. You hear screaming. The screaming sounds familiar. The screaming's coming from you. But as that sound is coming, you hear it muffle, almost like you can hear it underwater, how things just kind of get real just muffled and distorted as you're almost like you're cupping your ears, and sounds start to go out. You hear a high-pitched ringing that overwhelms your senses. Jed, your stomach starts to cramp into knots, not from lack of food, but you all of a sudden feel a hot flash over your body. You become overwhelmingly just a flash of hotness over you. You feel your stomach emptying, cramping to push stomach bile up to your throat, just like you would if you're almost ready to throw up. You feel like you're going to heave. You almost start to retch. Cade, as you look around at everyone, you're still pretty much calm and collected, but your peripheral vision starts to close, and only allowing you to see what exactly you're witnessing. It closes in further and further until it slowly envelops to complete blackness. For every one of you, your reality seems to stop. It's almost like going to sleep. You see the reverse of the effects. Not necessarily the nausea. You feel cold sweat on you. You don't see anything. You start to slowly hear these sounds come back to you. The unmuffling of the sounds, like you're taking your hands off of your ears slowly. You start to hear a whistling and a screeching sound of metal on metal, basically stopping something. You hear hissing, and your vision slowly comes back to you over time. You see that you're at the moment where Aaron, you and Jed basically awaken from this unconsciousness. You awaken to a familiar sight, to familiar sounds, to familiar smells. As doors open in front of you, you step down. You're in the process of stepping down onto a platform. You are unboarding just like you did the previous morning. The morning, how do you say that? The morning of the current day, as you got to Kingsport, and you notice that you're at the train station. Both of you look around until at last you see a familiar face sitting down on a bench with a newspaper, looking curiously over the top of his newspaper at them, almost like he's investigating or he's looking at them. This is Cade. As you recognize him as a familiar face, you see Cade there.
Well, that was interesting, darlings.
Touching my cane. I'm looking around. And my bag of books is back by my side, I'm assuming. I just got off the train again.
Sure.
I still have my bag of books that we just delivered. Mm-hmm. Assuming we're right back at the beginning of where we were.
Exactly.
Right, or am I wrong?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just us got moved.
Right. It's like so yeah, it's just like that morning. The exact same way that happened that morning. The only difference is that you notice a familiar face that you didn't notice before. Not necessarily that you notice somebody sitting on the bench, and that's Cade.
Do we know? Are we aware of what happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. The last thing that you guys remember is exactly what happened on the previous events, like verbatim. Like you remember everything till now. It's just everything has changed. You've woken up, almost like a reset
Is it like an exact reset? Like, are there people there? Is there the circle with people looking over a body?
Okay. So you look across, and what would have been people, and what would have been where you would have noticed a body, you do not see those people. It's sort of dark. So as you get off, everything's the same, except it's not really morning time. It's more of it's sort of night, but it's also a real bright sort of a night. Like there's no lights anywhere, but you can tell it's almost like a full moon, like blasting. So there's very little shadows, but there is a tinge of darkness. You do also notice that as you're kind of looking around that things are just off just a little bit. It's almost like edges are fuzzy when you try to focus on things. It's just kind of everything has blurred lines. Not so much, but it's kind of like a gradual blurring of those outlines of things that you're looking at.
Bad for Jet then. Oh jeez. At a 13, I see anybody with a newspaper about, just out of curiosity? Are you reading a newspaper?
Yes, that's Cade, and you recognize him.
He's reading a newspaper.
Yeah, he was just kind of sitting there, and as soon as you get off, you can tell that he was not really reading the newspaper.
Hey! Let me see that bit of paper. And I grab the paper. Is the date that it's supposed to be? Or am I still a day behind?
It's the same day.
It's the day it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And when you look at it, it's kind of weird. Like, so when you actually look at the letters, you're expecting it kind of to be something familiar, and you're pretty sure it's today, but you can't really tell. Like you have the intuition that it's today, but as you look at it, it's kind of weird. Like it's not really that the letters are fuzzy or jumping, but it's like in your head you're kind of remembering it being today. It's definitely like this morning.
So we're kind of like in when Frodo puts on the ring and what he sees when he's invisible.
It's not that. It's more so it's not that fuzzy.
Not that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's
The Chance to Dream, Batman the Animated Series, wherein we're in the dream world we can't read.
Groundhog's Day?
So it's pretty close. So everything's just kind of like not right. Like you can't tell necessarily. It just things are off right now.
Does it help at all if I put on my cheaters? Spectacles.
Oh. Yeah. So you kind of check. You even like you rub your spectacles on your shirt. You try to wipe it off, and you put them back on. Everything is pretty much exactly. Everything's a little bit clearer, but again, like something is off. It would be So it's not that. But you understand that this is all familiar. Like this is very familiar. It's not like you're.
Okay, is it just the three of us or all four of us there?
Sorry. So you look around, and Cade notices that basically that morning. So again, it's exactly how he remembered the previous morning. Cade was sitting at the station, again looking for the people that are arriving, and he was also observing and he was looking at people that are arriving that previous morning in the previous morning of the first part of the episode, and he was there and sort of side investigating. He was really just trying to to catch some of, because the cops, the police officers were surrounding his niece's body, and he was still there, just kind of maybe hoping that he could find something that was off just a little bit, so that, like a killer that likes to come back and look, he didn't know if that was some type of an instance there. So that's why Cade is there. He was just investigating, basically trying to get in. So that's what he was doing previously. So today, so right now, it's just like the same. But there's no body, there's no officers, there's just the two people that step off of the Aaron and Jed that step off of the train. What you were expecting, and Aaron and Jed, you were expecting to see Lawrence step off of the train, but the door is open and no one else is coming out.
I'm going to ask Aaron and Jed if did you see anybody in the train? Or is it the first thing you remember is that you were stepping off?
Kind of I don't know. Where were we? What is the first thing I remember there, Keeper?
Yeah. So this is something that you guys, you just come to as soon as you come off the train. One of you...
So first thing I remember of this new situation is foot hitting pavement.
Correct.
Off the train.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, no, man, I stepped outside the train there, and it's the last thing I know. I got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen anything like this before.
So Erin walks over and she checks in and sees inside of the train, and there is nothing there. There's nobody in there.
It's like a wild Saturday night. This is the first thing I remember. I lost a chunk of time here, but we're all here together, so we need to figure out, A, what happened, and B, what are we going to do about it? Because this isn't right. Something is quite wrong.
As you all are there, you are pretty... so if... Cade, can you give me an investigation roll?
Sure thing. That would be a 20.
Okay, a 20.
Yeah, that's with the modifier.
Okay. You hear... You feel a little bit off about what's happening. So your senses are a little bit more keen. Like sounds again are kind of coming to you. You do hear the steam of the locomotive. The locomotive is still going. You hear the engine still there. Again, it's bleeding out the steam from the brakes a little bit more. Then you hear a sound off to the distance. You can't really tell exactly where it is, but you know that it's in a basically so where you guys had left with the taxi driver. You do hear something off in that direction.
And I turn around and I tell Aaron and Jed, it's like, I got something over here.
It's time to go. Let's follow it.
23, occult knowledge. Do I know what Lawrence did to us? Whatever he was up to. Do I have any clue?
Yeah. So you do remember the last thing that kind of happened. So you're kind of thinking like, who, what, like, why are we here? Like, we're here, but you know what happened. So you start to backtrack your thoughts, and you remember what Lawrence was doing. You saw that he was basically mimicking the ritual that you saw at the university, and then you see that that it was.
Right.
Basically, he was performing the same type of ritual, but you don't remember seeing a portal. You don't remember seeing anything, but you know that it's pretty much like there's probably something to do with what he just did and how you guys ended up where you're at. Mikey.
Do I have any idea how, like, can I judge the distance of what I heard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, it's right around the corner. It's almost kind of like a bumping of something. Same, maybe like a trash can or something had gotten kind of knocked over.
Okay, so it's like in an alleyway or something. You said around the corner.
Yeah, just around the corner, around the station. You're gonna have like the way out. Basically, when you're done with the train station, you can walk around, and there would be a street out that way. And again, it could be behind some buildings. It's just you know that it's kind of off and around the corner of the train station. But you can't see around the train station from where you're at.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like walk down the middle of the sidewalk or a street or anything. I'm kind of gonna hug the building and make my way towards the sound and just peek around, see if I can see anything.
Okay, Jed.
Quick question. After the whole teleporty thing, do I still have my firearm that I picked up from the store? Or am I back to where I was?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you do have a firearm on you.
Okay.
Okay. So, Cade, you peek around the corner, and you see a shadow figure kind of wrap around the other side, like just as you're peeking around. Like it's not like you peek and somebody notices you and goes around. You see that you see a shadow just kind of bending around the other side. So so think of like a rectangle. So if the train station is an easy rectangle, you're on the bottom right corner. You're peeking around that corner, and you see that person already moving around the top right corner, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So they're going to be on kind of the back side. You guys would be on the bottom side where the train station, where actual platform would be, and so they're just kind of making their way on the opposite side of the building. So they'll be on the opposite, or you see a shadow on the opposite side.
All right, I'm gonna shoot around the corner and again stay close to the building.
Bob, you look real sleepy.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, what are you doing right now?
I want to go around the opposite side of the building.
Okay, so you're gonna go.
So if he's going like here, I want to go around this way.
Okay. Jed, are you just kind of thinking about
Bob
stuff?
might
or-
have froze.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll wait for him to come back.
Yeah. Might have to drop and come back, but I mean, it's not like I'm going to get there in a hurry. Yeah, I kind of ain't got a whole lot right now. I mean, they're going to beat me there.
Building and make my way up and look.
I suppose direct route has a train in the way, doesn't it?
I think so.
If I were to walk the most direct way towards where my friends are going, would I have to cross through the train?
No, you're basically under kind of like a not a gazebo. What do you call it? Like just,
an awning?
Yeah. Like a overhang. That would be like a vaulted overhang, and it's there's a platform. You come off of the train, and the station's right in front of you, and it's a real simple train station in Kingsport. So you would anyway, so you kind of see them go off to the sides, and you see Erin kind of making her way, and
Way directly towards the other side, and probably meet up with them about the time they get there.
okay, yeah, that's fine, perfect. All right, so Cade, you corner around. You make your way around the right corner, basically, of the building on the opposite side of the station, and you see a figure running towards that side. And what you observe, Cade, what you observe is you see that this shadow is running, and Erin, you're coming around the left-hand side, and you immediately get hit as soon as you kind of nonchalantly kind of move around the corner, and you get hit and knocked over.
Do I have a chance to like grab the leg? Is there any shot at that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty easy because basically you kind of get hit, you kind of get knocked over, and as the person is continuing to run over you, you grab the leg, and the person kind of is starting to kind of kick at you a little bit.
I'm just holding on for dear life, yelling.
Sure. And Cade, how close are you? Would you be running after at that point, or how would you be pursuing?
Man, the suspense is incredible.
He is so good at holding that poker face.
Come.
Damn, alive.
He's really playing in stealth today.
Blindfold.
All right, you back with us?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't
So
hear me?
yeah, no, I didn't. So so you turn around the corner. You see the collision happen with Erin, and you hear the ugh, and you know that something happened. And the last thing you hear is Erin say, "Cade." So what are you doing? Are you pursuing?
Yeah. When I saw the person starting to run down the alley, and I knew that Aaron and Jed were coming around the other side, I went.
Uh-oh, you're cutting out a little bit. So so you're continuing to go. If you can still hear me, we'll maybe catch you back up. But okay, so you're in hot pursuit. As you get over, you help Aaron turn over the person, and you pull that person up. They're very light. You can tell it's a slender type of a body, and you pull it up, and you freeze, and you look at the person. Man, I would like for you to be unfrozen.
So much suspense. Oh.
It is suspense. What does
I'm
he
trying to be
see?
stealthy anymore. I just took off running after him. So
Yeah.
we're good now.
Yeah, you're good now. Okay. So so you're able to help, you're able to pick up the body. Again, it's going to be a lightweight type of a body, so that you're probably like, okay, this is probably a female. You pull this figure up, and you turn them around, and you immediately see, it's almost like it's very shocking, and it's like, okay, I see this face, but this is not supposed to be, like, you're really confused. So you look at it, and the girl looks at you and says, "Uncle Cade, what do you?"
Yeah, and I just look at her, and then I hug her.
Oh, Uncle Cade, I'm so glad to see you. Thanks for. I didn't know that you were going to be in town, or I didn't know that you were going to be here. What are you doing here?
It's like you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
I'm pretty sure that I would. What happened? And then that she turns around and looks looks down as Erin is starting to brush off herself as she's kind of getting up, and she turns, and Erin doesn't see who this person is, and immediately she looks at her, and her eyes get wide, and you see that it's Sarah.
Oh, hi, Sarah.
Oh, I'm
so happy to see you.
So let's see. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad you're here, darling.
You guys need to come with me real quick. Who is the and then about that time you see somebody running around. You see Jedediah kind of coming around the corner a little bit, and then you see Sarah like flinch and kind of grab Cade's arm, Nathaniel Cade's arm, and starts to run away and like, you've got to come. So she's trying to pull you away from Jedediah as he's coming around the corner.
I tell her to calm down. He's with me, or he's with us.
Are you certain?
Yeah, I'm certain.
So how did you get here?
I've been here for a couple days, and my friends here just got into town this morning.
No, how did you get to this place?
Again, that's a good question.
I
don't really know.
There's not been anybody here for 3 days. Yep.
Has there been other people around, or is it just the three of us and then we found Sarah?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Nobody. Not a single person. You're the only people here.
But Sarah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She's the first person that you've seen besides, yourselves.
We got wrapped up, and I just come out and say it. The reason I'm here is because you were murdered.
No, I'm here. 3 days ago, I was here. I was trying to send a telegram to Erin, and I was writing it down on a piece of paper, and I came here to send it. The telegram wasn't working, and the post wouldn't have gotten to her soon enough. But I remember the letter. And I was trying to send it, but they told me that I couldn't complete the letter, so I sat down and I started to write. I went back to my house and I started to write a letter to Erin. And then the next thing I remember is that I remember waking up in a dark place. In this place with nobody. I haven't seen you're the first people that I've seen in a while.
Kind of want to figure out if she's real. Like, I want to make a roll of some sort.
Okay. Yeah.
Ribs with a finger.
Ow!
Yeah.
Stop. That's not appropriate right now. We need to be getting out of here right now.
I rolled a 6.
Yeah, that's fine. So as much as you can tell, she's pretty genuine. she's got the same inflections in her voice. She's got the same tonal pattern of her voice. Her mannerisms are the same that you can tell. So she, again, looks at you very seriously and like, we need to get out of here. I need you to come back. You guys need to come back to my apartment.
Okay, can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. I've still got the note that we got from her apartment.
Okay.
And I'm going to, just show her that and ask her if this was the note she was writing and what happened, why it wasn't finished.
Sure. Mike, can you share that for us?
I'm gonna sure try. Sure.
Okay. So that note is, Aaron, I hope this letter finds you well. I can't wait till your arrival, but strange things are afoot, and you may want to hold off until things return to some sort of normal. So Sarah, so did you have the note, or did you show her?
I had the note, and I've also got the second note that we got from I believe the university.
Okay, and then what did you do with the first letter, the letter to Aaron?
Oh, I just handed it to her and asked her if she could explain it. Because it looked like she was in the middle of writing the letter, and then it trails off like something happened.
Right. Yeah. I remember this letter. This is the letter that I was going to send through the telegram. I was writing it up in case that I could get it to her quickly through the mail. But I got back to the house. I got back to my apartment, and I was writing this, and that's the last thing that I remember. And then you show, and then what are you doing with the second note?
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
The location where we found Sarah yesterday, in the depot, or whenever we found her, whenever that time frame was, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in that spot? Can I do like a search in that area to see if there's anything abnormal about that particular spot? Like stands out comparative to the rest of the area?
Yeah. So just, you don't need to roll. So you're just kind of, you remember kind of backtracking since you're at the spot that you're at. You do remember walking through that area pretty vividly since, you're kind of.
What I'm looking for was the dead person. That really has a tendency to firm up a memory.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No. None of that is there. You don't see anything. It's basically an empty shell of that train station. So there's nothing that really gives you any indication that there's something there. So Bob, you want to bring forward the second note? Is that right?
Yeah, I want to ask her about that second note.
Okay. Where did you get this?
I got this from your office at the university, I think.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So this is the note that you found at the office at the university. However, the note is not actually. So she looks at it and she goes, this is not my handwriting. This is my assistant's handwriting. And Kingsport, Tomes in the Woods, the Black Goat, Docks and Wharf, and then is that, I can't tell what that symbol is. It almost kind of looks like twigs or something like roads maybe. I don't know. I don't know what that pattern is. I don't know what that is.
I'm getting kind of a hinky feeling just standing in this alley talking.
Okay. And then she reiterates,
we might want to get to her apartment or
Yeah.
somewhere indoors.
so she's like, yeah, we need to go now. There's I feel like there's darkness closing in around us. We need to go. So you all, again, if you want to pull up the
Sense motive. Quick, sense motive on her. Is she being some kind of shady with us?
Okay, yeah, you can roll for that if you want to.
At a 25.
25. Yep. So you notice that again, she's kind of in the same there we go. I'm gonna upload the map. And this is basically the first map that you all went to. So it's the Kingsport street map. Mike, can you share that real quick see if people can see that? I'll make it bigger here.
And like I said, I've got the other one with the other stuff marked on it too, if you need it.
Okay.
I have a blank one if you need it.
So this might not be easy for everybody to see, but basically we're at the train station. The red circle is where the train station is, and the previous. And if you can pull up the previous note, the second note. Yep. And then again on that, it just says Kingsport, Tomes in the Wood, and then you see the Black Goat, and then you see Docks and Wharf, and then you see the symbol there. So Sarah looks at you and she says, yes, we need to get out of here right now. So you all start making your way, and as you're walking, let's see, I can't remember how far away. Yeah. Okay. So
There was a train or there cars.
So Sarah's apartment is immediately north, pretty much immediately northeast. So you all start walking. Sarah looks at you and says, "I need you all to take my lead." So she starts to kind of slip into some sort of a shadows in between buildings as you're walking. You're not walking out in the street specifically, but you're walking not necessarily real cautiously, but just to kind of like you're not making a lot of noise, but you're also not like, slowly advancing, if that makes sense. So it's kind of a brisk pace. Go ahead, Terry.
Other cars?
Yes, like you can see like where like cars are kind of parked on the side of the road. Just kind of yeah. You do look behind you, and as you're walking, you do notice like that things are getting darker behind you as you're walking forward. So you all continue to walk along the streets, kind of on the sides towards kind of staying in the shadows a little bit, even though Yeah, but you're all walking briskly, and you're just following Sarah at this point to the apartment.
Sure.
Okay. So you all are walking. It takes probably about 10, 15 minutes, really to get close. And as she walks up to her apartment, she asks for each one of you to kind of look around before she gets the door unlocked. She unlocks the door and she opens it, and then motions for you all to come inside.
We go inside, and I close the door behind us, and I'm peeking out the window to see if if we were followed or anything.
Okay. Yep. In this room, it's kind of like the same thing before. Like you were outside. Light is like things are dark, but you can see in the dark, if that makes sense. Like it's not like you flip on a switch and there's more light. It's all kind of pretty much the same light that was outside. So Sarah looks at you and says that she turns to each of you and says, "Do you all need a glass of water?"
Yes, Alan.
I'm good.
So she walks off, and you hear her in the kitchen. You hear her kind of clinking around with the. You hear her with the dishes, basically kind of bringing out cups. You hear them clinking, and then you hear water and stuff like that.
Jeb, check for the book. Remember the book?
All right, so at a 20 plus whatever my thing is. Is it? Search 26.
Mm-hmm.
I find the book.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Found the book.
Yep.
Have the book.
Yep. And you well, so you look around and you see that the book is there. And then you have kind of a feeling to look in your satchel.
All right. And I follow said feeling.
Okay. So you open up the satchel, and you notice that that the same book is in your satchel. So you see an exact duplicate.
All right. Okay.
Don't know how to frame this question and stay in any kind of character for the rest of the players.
You're doing great.
God dang.
So if you want to,
Wait, if the book is here, guys, if the book is here, then are we here before Sarah actually died and had been transported to the or teleported to the thing, the station? If we have been, what could we do to figure out how long we have before time is up?
so you're wondering if you have like a timer or a countdown type of a thing?
They're thinking. I mean, and I know you could answer that question like flat out right now,
Mhm.
but we kind of got to figure it out, don't we? So you want to just give that to us? That's on you.
Sure. So that's something that you can ask. That you can ask Sarah. Like you can run that by her, So at this time, I'll give you guys a little bit extra if you guys want to talk some more before she comes in. So you know that you have a little bit of time before she comes back in, and you want to make sure that you've talked about what you need to before she comes in.
Yes. Do you have a sandwich in there? I'm awful hungry.
Oh, I think so. Let me check. And then you hear
Fantastic.
the fridge open, and she goes, "Oh, yes, I do. Hold on just a second."
Jabba. Okay.
I've been thinking that we've only seen 2 of these portals since we've been here. There was no, one minute we're behind the bookstore, next minute we're at the train station, and we don't see anything. But what I'm thinking is maybe we can make our way either to the university or the bookstore where we know that there are portals, and maybe they'll get us back to where we're supposed to be out of whatever place this is.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. There was no blood trail with Sarah's body the other day, and I figured maybe there'd be something at the station. That's why I was looking. I mean, we could definitely try that. Which one's closer? I don't want to walk that far. Did anybody know how to hotwire a car? It's a long walk, boys.
The university is the closest. It's probably 7 to 10 minutes away. The bookstore, that's going to be a little bit more tedious. I'd say probably 30 minutes on foot.
Yeah,
If we
further south.
If we hurried, maybe we could cut that time in half.
We could call a cab again. We have a history with cabs, so.
I was going to say, she does have a phone. We did call the cab from here before. The cabs had cultists in them before. Do we really want to call them?
And that's to even say if the phones even work. We haven't seen or heard anybody other than us here.
Mm-hmm. Sarah calls in like, "Okay, I'm finished with the sandwiches. Would anybody else like some?"
I would like a complete Thanksgiving dinner, please. One moment.
You're so funny. Like, I don't know.
We need the yams!
Okay, hold on. I can get you what I have. I don't have much. Let me see if I can do another cheese sandwich.
Thank you.
Are there any cars outside?
Are there any cars outside the arcade?
Yes, he sees that there are cars outside.
Okay.
Is there a phone that I could just pick up and hear a
yes,
ringtone?
there is a phone.
A dial tone?
Yeah. So are you gonna pick it up?
Oh, I'm going to pick it up just to hear if there's a dial tone or if
Okay.
this is...
So you pick it up and you just kind of hear you hear a dial tone, but then it just kind of just muffles into just a muffling.
Darling, the phone is haunted. There's something quite wrong with it. I think foot is probably the transportation of choice. Unless we want to try that again, but it's a mess.
Maybe we could go to a neighbor's house and see if they're, if they got car keys and a car in the driveway. Maybe take it.
I'm gonna start without the keys there, boss.
All right. So after this time, you guys kind of have talked, and so Sarah comes in and hands you each a glass of water and then some sandwiches or something, just kind of maybe some cucumber slices, some stuff like that. Anyway, she looks at Cade and says, it's been a while since I've seen anybody, and it's also been a while since I've seen you, Cade, Uncle. I've really missed you. I haven't seen you in a while.
And I kind of take her and sit her down on the couch and ask her, not to be blunt or anything. And it is nice to see you, but the last time I saw you, you were gutted at the train station. What kind of odd things are going on in this town that
So
you mentioned to Aaron in your letter? I've noticed strange things since I've been here, but what strange things have you noticed?
So that's kind of why I wanted you guys to come back to the apartment. Things have been 3 days ago. I remember waking up, basically just kind of coming to. I was in the process of writing a letter, and that letter was there, and it was an incomplete letter. Everything was dark. I don't remember anything after that. I've been trying to look around. I haven't seen anybody in a long time. I know that that you. I remember looking around, going to the university. That's where I've been kind of doing some of my work. Been trying to do stuff there because the library is there. Again, it's still quiet because there's definitely not people here. So I've been trying to make that a research area for us to for me to figure out kind of what's going on. But the last thing that I remember was 3 days ago. I don't understand how you all are here. I was walking towards the train station, and I saw that you all got off the train. I heard the train come in, and then I saw that you all got off. I saw two people get off. Aaron, I saw you. Or, sorry, I saw some people get off, and I was startled. I tried to peek around. I couldn't make out any faces because it was a little bit too far away, and I haven't had my glasses. I broke a pair, but I do have some back at the university. And then that's when I started to run away, and I tried to get away because I was scared. Just things haven't been right. There have been darkness that has been this enveloping darkness. I feel like it's trying to come for me. The darkness has almost led me. It's almost kind of like it leads me places. But I push against that darkness, and I try to resist it. But you said that I was dead. I've not been dead. I don't understand what you mean.
Yeah, you had been murdered. I saw your body. Aaron saw your body. Jed saw your body. And we have a fourth companion, and we don't even know where he is. Last time we saw him, he was at the bookstore.
Are you sure that that was my body?
I'm pretty sure it was. It looked exactly like you. Down to tiny scars that I noticed.
So she kind of looks down. She pauses. She kind of looks down, just kind of like thinking about some things. She draws up the cup to her mouth. She takes a drink of water. She sets it back down, and she looks at Aaron and says, you were supposed to be coming around this time 3 3 days, or you were supposed to be here today. Did you? I don't know. So what are you doing here?
Darling, we seem to be having a time discrepancy here. We are both off by about 3 days. So something here is not correct. I am where I'm supposed to be, I believe. But this isn't working. Something is very off, which we both know. And it seems in my brain, we only have 3 days to rectify this.
Oh.
I could be wrong, though.
No, sorry, I forgot to explain, maybe clarify a little bit. The last thing that I remember, before, being in my apartment where I came to and everything was dark, before I was writing a letter. I was writing the letter, 3 days ago, and I've been here pretty much alone, trying to figure out what's going on in the city. And then on the third day today, I saw you guys this morning.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, darling, but it seems there's confusion and we have limited time to make sense of it.
Yes.
Yep.
So instead of ruminating and pondering, we must take action, I believe, because all the stories are different. All of our thoughts are relatively different. We need to start sorting fast, I believe.
I agree. Go ahead.
Darkness, can I feel that pull that she was talking about? I'm standing at the window, leaning on my cane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, it's kind of like what you had felt as you were walking towards the apartment. It was sort of pushing against you, a little bit more. Yeah. So you just felt a pull or a push, like that. Yeah. It's almost kind of like you were going against. Almost kind of like your momentum. Anyway, it was just something that it didn't want. Like you almost felt like this darkness and stuff was coming, but you didn't know exactly where. You just knew that it was harder to get to the apartment than what would have been normal.
Stay away from the darkness. We move towards the light. That's clearly the epicenter. We can learn things there. Otherwise, we can keep treading around in the darkness and spinning our wheels, wondering what exactly we're looking for, or we can go to where it wants to be found.
Okay.
Clearly wants Sarah at the center. Now she's got the three of us.
Okay. So Sarah, here's you kind of pull some of that off. Again, like she's coming. She's processing
I
it.
said that wide open in the middle of the living room. There was no.
You did or no?
Yeah. No, there was no being sneaky about it. I was absolutely including Sarah into the conversation.
Okay. So basically.
Everybody in the living room.
Yep. So she takes it as kind of old man, like I say whatever I want, kind of a thing. So anyway, so she gets that. She says that.
Pretty much.
Yep. So she said, yes. That's enough. I guess talking. I'm sorry. It's been hard for me to reset myself, and I thought that coming to the apartment would help. But that's enough. Kind of getting reacquainted. I think so. What we've been working on, or what I've been working on, is at the university. And you had mentioned a pull or a push back. That's exactly what I feel. And when I go to the university, it is something that pushes against me every time I go there. But I think we need to
Pushes you away, we say.
do what?
Pushes you away
Correct. That's
from the university.
It's the hardest place. It's the hardest place for me to go to. So, so she suggests that that you all that we should go to the university. And let's see. So, if you guys, so anyway, she motions for you guys to come on, and she's basically saying, all right, if you're done, if anybody needs any more water or anything like that, before we go, I think we should head to the university. That way, maybe you guys can help me with something.
Let's head out.
Okay. So you guys leave Sarah's apartment. You start walking, and you move towards the university. Again, like she said, it was just like before. Everything's pushing you back. It's almost like it's, I don't know, like this magnetic thing. Like your legs get heavier as you get closer. So you all walk up to the university. Again, it's you all aren't walking out in the actual the open. So you're just kind of heading along. You go to the university. You all walk down the hallways, and you walk into the let's see. So, and then you all walk into her office, or actually, no. So from there, you can just kind of go to the library area, is where she takes you. This I've been working on what any type of. I've been trying to work. Tirelessly trying to get some background on where everybody is, why there's this weird darkness to things. This I can't see things clearly necessarily, and anyway, I've been working here in the library, scouring through books. I don't really have any direction. The medical field is the only thing that I'm good at, but this research has just been getting me nowhere. Maybe that you guys are here, now that you guys are here, maybe we can throw some ideas around, and maybe we can try and see if we can learn something together on why things are happening the way they're happening.
I don't really want to split the party, but I'm going to tell Aaron and Jed to stay here with her, and I'm going to make my way to the room where the cultists were with the portal just to check it out.
Okay. Yeah, we can pause. We can pause our stuff. So you make your way. Again, everything's pretty much the same as you remember. Again, it's just gonna kind of have that same feeling of back at the apartment, the same feeling that you were at the train station. You walk down the hallway to the door where the room was. You open the door, and you see that an empty room. Again, it's like a normal type of a room where it's more of a meeting area for like maybe studying or some type of, anyway, there's tables and chairs in that room, and there is nothing. It looks exactly kind of how it was before, but there's nothing off that you can tell.
Okay. So I'll mosey back to the library.
Okay. So as you come back, you hear Sarah and Aaron and Jedediah talking. So we're going to back up, and we're just going to kind of do that at the same time that he's kind of been away. So, Aaron, do you still have that note?
Yes, darling, right here.
Okay, so you pull up and she's referring to the second note, the one with the so she pulls that note up and she looks at Jed and says, "Have you? Is there anything about this that you all have found out?"
About the note?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The
black goat? Or what are we on about?
Yep, we're on the second note. It's the one that has the Kingsport tombs in the woods. I'll send that.
Second note. I can't remember, and I don't have anything in my notes about whether or not we have information on that note.
Okay. So she.
But I did roll a 22 on either research or knowledge, occult history, or local, or
I
art.
got a 20 as well.
Okay.
22.
So you guys do notice that that this is that there are that the university does have a lot of information, probably that you can figure out some things about this note to maybe break down some of it. Aaron and what part of that note would you want to break off to see if you could find a book?
There are three distinct aspects. The one I can relate to at the moment is the black goat, because that is recent in my memory.
Okay. So you set off. So you start to set off to go after that. What are you going to research, Terry, or Jed?
Can't read the thing.
Yep.
Your options are Kingsport, Tomes in the Woods, or Docks/Wharfs.
Well, then let's go with the tombs in the woods. It's 22 on my local knowledge. I ought to know what we're talking about.
Okay.
Or at least have somewhere to start.
Sure. So, Cade, you come in at the end of that conversation into the room,
Okay.
and Sarah looks at you and says, How was everything? Did you find what did you go look for?
We ran into some undesirables when we were here earlier, I guess you could say. And I went to see if the location where they were, if there was anything out of the ordinary or amiss.
And then she just kind of asks you, who are the two undesirables?
One of them was masquerading as your assistant, and I have no idea who the other one was.
You saw the same assistant where this note had originated from, more than likely. It looks like his handwriting. So you saw him here at the university?
Yeah, we were in your office, and he came in.
He had been acting strange. Okay. So he ran from you? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
He ran into a room where another person was. That person basically gutted themselves in front of us, and your fake assistant stepped into a swirling vortex, I guess you could say, and disappeared.
Let's see. So, so she mentions, that's interesting. I honestly, I don't know what any of this means. Did you get a good look at the person that killed themselves?
No, we were occupied at the time.
Okay. I
Know
need.
where your assistant lived?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay, we know the location of a known cult member. At least where they were living. Might be some sort of clues there.
That's a good point. We could probably go there. Let's look first here while we have time, while we have you here, and let's see what we can find here first.
I'm not saying we're done here. It's just a thought.
Yep. No, it's fine. So Sarah looks at the list of items on the actual note itself, and again, she's going over and talking with Cade, saying, I don't know what any of these things mean. Tombs in the woods. I mean, I know that there are woods up north to us. The Black Goat. That's the first that I've heard of, the Black Goat. The docks and the wharf. I know where that's at. That's close over to the lighthouse. And then that symbol, it looks like a leaf. I don't know. It kind of looks familiar. But I can't really tell you. I think we need to research further. She asks, so you all look at your tomes in the woods, or Aaron, you get done with your research. You're not finding anything. Let's see, Jedediah, you come back. There's not really too much that you're finding. Cade, you're just kind of sitting and just trying to assist as much as possible. But let's see. So she mentions that the actual the design itself does remind her of a leaf. And she does. Sarah kind of looks at it like, this seems so familiar. Let me go check a medicine, a botanical book real quick. So she goes off and she goes and grabs the book, and she comes back and then opens it up and starts flipping through it. And she looks and she finds an actual plant, and the leaf is exactly that of this actual design. And you guys, and she looks at it, and she's like, this design, this goat's weed is not, it doesn't really give anything. Does this ring a bell to any of you? Do you guys have any knowledge of botanical knowledge? But it seems like that this book is incomplete and very vague in its information.
Could the leaf be used in like a drug or medicine?
This doesn't say too much. It's that they found it in that you find it in certain places, but it's not been widely used in a long time. That information has been in a type of ritual, is what this says, an old ritual of the Americas, but there is no actual information on what it actually does.
31 on a history roll.
Sure.
What do I know about goatweed?
Yes. So go ahead and roll for me.
31.
31, like 3-1.
19 plus 12.
Wow, cool. So, all right. So,
Sure.
So that reminds you of something that about the book, the botanical, the remedies book that you had grabbed from the apartment. And you remember seeing that.
I have that one, don't I? Isn't that the one that I grabbed?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and you have it. And you remember that information, that there is some stuff on that in that. Sorry.
What is said information in the book?
Yeah. So you pull out.
What is the information that I have?
So you
In
pull
the
out
other book.
You pull out the book and you give it to Sarah. She thumbs through it, and you're able to look at the book, and in the description it gives more information on the location of where this was used, and a little bit more a history on that plant. And it was mainly used as a guide. They would use this to basically, it's a hallucinogenic, and it helps guide people. It was used as a guide for their lore. Basically, whenever they would get lost, they'd be able to use this. So she looks at you all, and then she does remember that she remembers something that you guys had mentioned before. I do remember you talking, Jed, about possibly being led in a direction. You were talking about the darkness. I've been fighting.
Yes.
You
said that it was pulling you somewhere, and if it's pulling you somewhere, you are a dowsing rod, young lady, and you can take us to the epicenter of this mess.
So, she looks at you and she says, "Yes, let me actually show you what I've been finding the last 3 days." So she goes and she gets a map, and she pulls it out, and it's a pretty long map. And she basically, it's in a tube. She opens up the tube and comes to the table. She unrolls the map, and it's a pretty recent map. And she rolls it out, and you can see that it's been written on. But you can see that there's some markings on things, some X's, some highlighted spots. And then you see that it points you towards the actual lighthouse area. And she explains. She says that
Darkness, lighthouse.
So there's the lighthouse. There's the docks. It's mainly in this area. It's over towards the south or the northeast side of town. It's not necessarily anything over. It's mainly pushing me towards that direction.
I say we go there, boys. Let's load up and head out.
Is there any cars in the parking lot?
Yes, there is.
Armed with my book, I want to go outside and try to start a car, and off we go.
Okay. So
This walking thing is too much on me. I'm too old, and I don't want to do it anymore. If I can try to start a car, I'm gonna do.
okay. All right. You're able to start the car, and you guys are able to make your way towards that area. You guys are running along Bluff Road.
We're doing about 5. Leaned way forward near the steering wheel there. I'm going there. We're going, guys.
All right. So we start heading towards that way. You guys pull up kind of around the coastal area, around where the docks and stuff are. You guys pull to a stop, and you guys kind of get out, and then you guys start to get out.
All right, Sarah. Being pulled this way then, towards the lighthouse still.
Yeah, I've never come out this way before, but this is pretty much the area that we need, that has always, I don't feel any resistance in and around this area.
And to be careful.
So you guys look at, let's see. So you guys notice off the docks area, so you're looking off a little bit, and you see there's Doyle's Rock, and that's where the actual lighthouse is. And you do see that it is the only structure that you see that actually has light emitting from it. The lights that you've seen so far has been dull. It's just been kind of like moonlight. So this is the only thing that actually looks like actual light. So yeah, Bob's got a good description of a good picture of a lighthouse in the chat.
Yeah, the lighthouse in Kingsport is a lot more. It's harder to access than this is. If you can imagine, like a huge, almost like a mountain. On the very top of that mountain is the lighthouse.
Okay, so this is like on the side, out on kind of like a peninsula, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. There we go. Sorry. So you guys look off in that direction. Sarah mentions that that basically this is the first time that she's seen that before, and then she makes a mark on the map for that, and then she looks at you guys and says, if you think that this is, if we got here one way, then there's possibly maybe some way to get back out of here. What do you guys think?
Say again.
So she basically she's thinking that basically like that that since you guys have gotten here, that maybe there's a way to get out.
Not what I was hoping. Yeah, but okay.
Oh, but listen. If we go in there, we're willy-nilly and half-cocked, we might all die. We don't know for sure what's in there. Something clearly in there if it's still lighting up. There's clearly a reason why we've been led here. So, when we do this, we need to be sure that we're ready to get the hell out of Dodge if we need to.
I'm fine to go wherever. I'm fine to go wherever you want to. I don't know. Ever since I've been here, I've not been able to get answers. I've been getting further and further from where I want to go. It feels like when I walk places, when I want to get something done, it feels like I'm 3 to 4 to 5 steps back. It's like nothing is happening, and it's very frustrating.
We could make our way to the lighthouse. It might be kind of hard going for Jed.
Are there stairs?
It's a lighthouse, Jed.
Soon there's stairs. Are there stairs?
There's a lot of stairs, like hundreds.
Oh, Lord.
Lots and lots of stairs.
Oh, Lord. Oh, jeez.
Maybe we can make a pulley system, but I don't know.
Need ropes.
Ropes, lots of ropes.
Oh, Lord. Oh, I didn't bring the rope.
Are there any ropes in the trunk of the car?
No, it's just tire iron and.
All right, well, I'm gonna take the tire iron. Then,
All right.
Because you never know.
I have a +2 to using ropes.
Okay, well, all right. So,
Well, here we can go into the if we make our way to the lighthouse, we'll set ourselves up on the ground floor. Me and Aaron can make our way to the top and check it out before Jed has to go up. If there is a way out, we'll come back down and we'll help him up. But he can stay down with Sarah on the bottom.
And basically the bottom area, that is the actual like docks and wharf. Like it's all kind of like it's spread out along the side there. So there's just different spots to different docks and areas that ships can come into. So y'all want to make your way over?
just a quick question about the setting. Are there boats in the area? There's boats sitting out there in the wharves, or are they gone?
Mm-hmm.
They're there. Are there any floating out on the water? Are we looking at, like, you know, Left Behind, post, I forget the word, Rapture? That's it.
Yeah. No. You can
floating out there at random, or are they all like pulled in, tied up type thing?
So you see some that are kind of just kind of floating in the water, but they're not really moving. They're just kind of out in the water. You do see some that are that have been tied up in that area, but there's no actual movement of actual boats like that you would normally see.
While we were driving here, were there cars in the middle of the roads? Like, did I have to swerve around cars that were just sitting there at random, or was everything parked?
It was a little bit spread out. There's probably some in the road, yes.
Okay. Bunch of stuff where people were when potentially when Sarah went into this place, things that were moving about and the people that were there just disappeared, is what I'm gathering. I don't know for sure. This is just what I'm gathering.
So Sarah, yeah.
Wonder if, I suppose the only way to find out is to just go. Wonder if the light. I'm just thinking right now. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm wondering if the lighthouse is just operating because it was running before Sarah was sent here, or if it's still running because it's supposed to be the location we're supposed to be going to. Any thoughts, guys?
Bob, you're muted.
Even if it's not where we're supposed to be going, it is the tallest point in Kingsport.
That's a good point.
It would be, and that's why I don't want Jed to go all the way up these winding stairs to the top before we know if it's even going to help. But we can also get a lay of the land and check around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, if Sarah's been drawn to this point, and she's clearly some kind of dowsing rod to get us to move forward, I would assume. And this is the only light that's actually still working. So that would make sense that this is where we need to go. I'm very concerned about splitting the party in this situation because I don't want to see either myself or Sarah get sideways, or the two of you.
So you guys are at a point where you're kind of at the parking area for kind of going off into the docks and the wharf area. It kind of it goes along and it wraps around that side. There'll be some buildings and stuff like that, but basically you're at a point to where there are buildings all along that hug the coast of that, and around that area, like in that picture, you see that the lighthouse is there, and then you see that there's docks and stuff there. So
now, does Aaron have a weapon of any kind?
I do believe I have the knife that the woman slit her throat with.
Yeah, okay. How about this then? Aaron.
Fire iron, you can take it as a club if you want.
Aaron in the front, Sarah and Jed in the middle. I'll bring up the rear, and we can make our way to the lighthouse.
okay.
If that's cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you guys start to make your way, kind of along the dock area. Again, like you were before, you're not really out in the open. You're kind of on the side. Yep.
Are the waves crashing? Or have the waves even stopped?
Yeah. No,
Can I hear the water lapping like it should?
correct. Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, you do notice that. So you're walking along, and you all walk up to the building of the. I'm trying to describe it, and I can't share my screen, so it's kind of hard to do that. So basically, there's a bigger building at the base of the lighthouse, and the lighthouse is sort of like at the end, kind of like a silo would be for a barn. So you would have like a barn, and then you would have a silo. So that silo would be more of like a lighthouse. So you guys approach you guys start approaching the lighthouse, and you start. So if let's see, Cade, can you give me a listen roll?
Listen.
Yeah.
I can. Hang on real quick. That would be a 22.
Okay. So you do hear like actual voices, but as you guys get closer to the actual building itself, so you guys are sort of, so this building has big sliding doors. So if somebody comes up, they can bring cargo in. And anyway, these doors are almost all the way open. It's like it's kind of like a big hangar, sort of. You know how they have those types of doors, and they're almost kind of like a French type of door where you've got two doors. And anyway, they're just kind of like this, and then you guys can actually hear. You can hear some voices.
Can we see through the gap? Like, if one of us that's more sneaky, say without a cane, were to sneak up to the door, could they see through the slit in the door, or maybe through one of the windows? If I understand the way you explained it, there's like a house abutting the lighthouse itself, the tower. So like they're inside the house, if I'm understanding correctly.
Right. It's more of kind of like a warehouse kind of a thing. But yes, but it's not like really big. It's more like I don't know. It's probably like a one-story type of a building, at least lengthwise. But the doors are right there. So yes, you can sneak up to it if you want to.
But should sneak up there quietly and give us a little look-see and see what we can see inside.
Let me look up one of my feats
My
here real quick.
my sneak is literally my dex bonus, which is 0.
Yeah, mine wasn't very good.
I've got stealthy as a feat, plus I've got move silently. It's one of my big ones, so let me find
That's what I was hoping for.
stealthy real quick. Get a +2 on hide and move silently, so that's cool. So let me roll that. 23.
So yeah, you're good. So you're moving quite enough that you can peek around if you need to.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So you peek your head around and you see some dark-robed figures that are kind of moving around inside. You can see that they are moving around some objects. You can't really tell too much. They're probably like crates or something. But you see a few doing that. You see a few that are inside that are in a circle chanting. They look a little bit different than you guys than the other ones. They have a little bit taller of a cap than the others. It's not all white, by the way, and it's not like a hood. So, but it's more ornate on it. You see more detail, kind of glinting off of that. But they're sitting there. You can see that. You can probably see that they've kind of been there for a while. You don't know how long, but it's probably been quite a bit of time, because you see, let's see, are they close enough for you to see? Yeah. So with that sneak roll, we'll go ahead and use that also too with a perception too. So you see them, and the ones that are more towards the middle, they've that you can see like liquid around them. And you can see like feces on the ground. They're all kind of there, and it looks like they have not moved from that spot for quite a bit of time.
So they're just doing their business where they're standing.
Yeah, pretty much they're just that you can gather that whatever they're doing, they've been doing it so long that they went to the bathroom right there. Exactly.
And about how far am I away from them?
Probably about 20 yards.
Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see if they're chanting the same stuff as the other cultists were in the alley.
What you're hearing is similar to what that was, but it's a little bit different. Like it has some similarities to it, but you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know anything.
And I'm gonna chalk that up to everything just being a little off here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make my way back to the others and tell them what's going on.
Okay. And as you make your way back, you make your way back to the actual to the group. You hear a loud shout from the side of the building, and you turn around and look, and it's an actual like it's a dark robe figure, and you hear them shouting. At that point, from where you just were, you hear footsteps running towards you guys, yeah. So you hear footsteps running towards your location.
Is there any place I can hide and let him pass and get him from behind?
So if you're looking at it like, so you are at the door, you're coming back towards the location where the group was, and they're more towards like the end of the building, but there's a person coming around that end, so they're actually that cultist is on the other side of the group than you. So
okay. But
you're closest to the door, and then you've got some cultists that you hear footsteps and stuff running. Running behind, basically pursuing you. What you think, or they're coming out at least.
So I'm going to take it that we've been discovered, and I run back and tell everybody to get ready.
How much ready we can actually get?
Pull out my knife.
Okay, so the cultist, so the one behind you all comes up and tries to grab one of you. The other cultists start running out, and there's probably like 4 or 5 of them that are coming out, and you can hear more probably shouting inside the actual area, or the like the warehouse type thing. Anyway, so
who does he try to grab?
Let's see. So
who does he try to grab?
I would say that he'd probably try to grab Aaron.
Of course. All right. Let's deal with that.
Trying to grab Aaron. So, yeah. When are we rolling initiative, bud?
Yeah. But before that, Jed, can you roll a perception?
Like a spot, or do you want like a listen? What do you want?
A spot.
Spot? Okay, sounds good. I got 17 plus my wisdom, 20. Dirty 20.
Okay. So again, things are happening really quick. So again, like it's hard for you to kind of keep up with,
Yeah.
your reflexes and everything. So you see everybody coming up, and you do notice that some of their robes, you do see a specific symbol on it, and it is the symbol of that that Bob posted of the glowing leaf. That leaf symbol.
Right, the elder sign thing. Yeah, there you go.
Right. And at that moment, Sarah.
I'd like to try to shoot the one that grabbed Aaron. I have a Derringer. I'm ready to go. I got 2 bullets. I want to shoot him if he's grabbing onto one of my friends.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
I mean, want to do.
Yep. So let's say that they've, the initiative wise, that they're probably a little bit higher, so they've already grabbed Aaron. So, but yes, you're more than likely you're ready to.
Right. I mean, if they're entangled, then at least they don't get their dex bonus, right? So that'd be an 11. 11. 11. That'll do it. Because we'll mark off that bullet as wasted.
All right. So yeah, that just kind of pretty much as you're fumbling it around, it kind of just goes off before you can even, like, you're trying to get it out of your pants, and then you kind of shoot at the ground before you actually pull it up. So.
I mean, it is a Derringer. They're hard to hold on to. I don't know if y'all have ever shot one. It's not easy.
Yeah, if you have big mitts or something like that, it would like.
Exactly. These things, yeah, they're I can palm the stupid things.
Yeah, and then
shoot it like this.
And then you could only actually you got big fingers, so you could only
Hold
just
it
kind of
with one finger. Wow, they're dumb, but they sure are fun.
So yeah, so that goes off. There's another person that so the other group is kind of coming up on y'all. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Okay, Bob. Would you?
Gesundheit.
So what are you doing at this point, Bob?
As I was running, I didn't slow down, so I'm gonna keep running in a straight line towards the cultist that came in through the door, and just tackle him.
Okay, so you're turning back around. Or
Oh, no, was there a cultist? There's
there's
some in front or in back of me.
There's one that came around the corner from where on the other side of where Aaron is, and then from the doors you have those guys that are pursuing, those cultists that are pursuing behind you. So you can
Okay.
So the direction that you would be running, if you're running back towards the group, you'd be running back towards the one that is that has Aaron
Tangled with
currently.
Aaron.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna nix that idea, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stop and turn around, and I'm going to jab out and try to punch the one of them that's pursuing me in the throat.
Okay, yeah.
Punch him in the turkey neck.
Well, let's see. Let's see, what am I rolling here? I'm going to use my martial artist feat, since I didn't have my gun out.
Y'all should see my roll.
Should see your roll.
Yeah. Is it
Okay,
good, or is it bad?
I've got a critical, so
Oh,
this is going
no.
to be. I rolled a 19. So it's going to be 1d4 times 2. So that is 4 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, so the momentum of that cultist that was running at you was kind of too much. I got a roll of a 2 of a D20. So so that momentum kind of carried forward, and you can describe how that happened.
As I'm running, I just basically, slide, and as I'm doing that, I'm coming around, and I just tag the guy right in the throat.
Okay. So you tagged that
and
guy.
You just hear a gurgling noise, and maybe some the crunch of some cartilage or the hyoid bone breaking or something.
Perfect, like Epstein break.
Yeah.
Nice. So that guy falls completely down. There's another guy that comes right over the top. You can choose what you can do to that guy since you had a critical. So this is kind of like 2 out of the 5 guys.
Okay. I'm gonna attempt to use his momentum if he's jumping over that guy to grab him and throw him.
Okay. Are you just gonna throw him on the pavement, or y'all are pretty close to kind of the docks, maybe-ish?
I'll throw him over the dock if I can.
Okay. Cool.
Into the water.
Yeah.
I'm off the cliff. Yay! On Bob.
So that would be at 12.
Okay, I've got a 9. So yeah, you're pretty much you're close, and a lot of you can tell me what happens there.
I grab him by his robe or tunic or whatever, and I go to my back and kick him, with my foot over. And as I do that, I follow through and come back to my feet and turn around to face the other ones. And it's like,
yeah. So those guys, so the cultists pause. The other cultist that has, so they stop a little bit, but you do hear some more coming from from that direction, from inside the warehouse. So you still hear maybe another group probably coming. But those guys just kind of stop just a second to kind of, reassess the situation after, morale is basically just kind of not really done, but it's like hey, you see them kind of pause and kind of almost kind of tilt their head a little bit and start to, I don't know, kind of reassess the situation and kind of maybe recalculate, if that makes more sense. Okay,
yeah.
So back with you, Aaron. There is let's go back to you. Let's see. How does the fighting work? With the
Opposed
defense?
Strength to break a grapple is how grapples work. At least that's how they work in 3.5.
Okay. This is the D20 system, so I don't know how.
Which is basically 3.0.
Oh.
Your GM, you rule. I'm just helping you out.
Yeah, no, that's fine. If you can help, that would be great, because
it's in 3.5. In 3.5, the rule is it's an opposed strength roll to break the grapple.
Okay.
So.
Okay, perfect. And let's see, Mike. Okay, so Sarah turns around and sees that you were grabbed a hold of, and she goes to help. So you can have an aid. Let's see, how do you aid rolls in this system? Can you have somebody help, like a plus modifier, or how does that work?
You can do a take 10, and I think it adds +2.
Yeah, it adds. Yeah. +2 sounds right for aiding in third.
Okay, perfect. So
Not 100% though.
okay, so so you can have a plus. You said +2.
Mm.
Yeah. So go ahead and you can
So
add that to
That
your.
puts me on a 15.
Okay. So you both. So that cultist is still grabbed a hold of you. Sarah comes over and she starts like scratching or pulling at his face, trying to like get around and pull him off. Both of you are struggling, and you all fall down. Basically, you fall down right there. So it's kind of like you've broken the struggle, but like now it's a scramble basically to move.
Can I get my knife? Is that a possibility?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna try and grab for it and just, like in a mosh pit, try and just stab at her or him or it.
What mosh pits do you go in?
The ones with knives.
Whoa, shoot.
Only once though. Only once.
I don't think I'd do that one twice.
No. So I'll roll. Okay, good old 6.
Okay. So you're able to swing the knife. You stab it like into the cultist, and he screams, or he or she, could be anybody. So that person screams, but the knife gets lodged into the cultist from there, and but you have a chance to get away.
Awesome.
So what is everybody else doing at this point?
Well, if the guy's on the ground, then I'll jump on the guy and shoot him in the mush.
Okay.
If he can't move, he's laying there on the ground and he's been stabbed.
Okay. Yep.
So I'll jump on him, fall on him, whatever the old fella is gonna do, and I'm gonna just bang.
Sure.
As close as I can.
Perfect. Yeah. No. So that's not going to be a roll. So that's going to be like anybody, a kid could. Don't play with guns, kids. But
Not a good plan.
but yes,
Sure, your target is what is beyond.
You're so one. Close, and boom, you shoot him, and like it like he just kind of goes limp at that point. So. Let's go back to you, Cade. What are you doing at this point? So where you're at is you've got 2 of the 3. You've got the 3 that are posturing, and then you also you see some cultists start to come out. Another group kind of start to come out of the. It's about 7 of them now. New 7 come out.
Okay, I'm gonna take my gun out and just like slowly back away, attempting to make my way closer to the group.
Okay. And communication wise, what are you guys doing at this point? Are you guys communicating, or you're just trying to move at this point?
I mean, I could yell out and it's like, we got at least a half a dozen over here.
Okay. Go ahead.
I do something I don't want to do as a player, but the character.
Run! All of you run! Get the hell out of here!
And I got my cane in my left hand, and I've got my derringer in my right hand. I'm going to start meandering towards the bad guys.
Okay.
Telling everyone else to run the hell away.
Okay, perfect. So at that point, what is everybody else doing? Is everybody going to follow those orders and just kind of run at that point?
Oh, hell no.
You're
I
not running?
grabbed the knife out of the dead cultist, and I'm right behind Jeb. Darling, I ain't going anywhere without your ass.
All right,
I
Cade.
appreciate it, but we got this far together. I don't know why I'm Southern all of a sudden, but we're going to get through it.
Pretty much everywhere is southern compared to
Yeah, very true.
Kingsport, right?
Yeah.
All right, Cade, tell me what you're doing.
Still backing my way towards the group, and I'm gonna, also say I'm not going anywhere without you.
Okay.
Listen, we can save the three of you at the sacrifice of one. It's worth it. We got to save Sarah to get her out of here.
It's like, no, we've already possibly lost one. I'm not gonna lose another.
Okay. So you all are standing your ground. Mike, you've got the ceremonial knife. We've got a derringer and a cane, and we've got a 45. I don't know. So Cade's got that. So you guys are standing your ground. You see more people pour out, more cultists pour out of the warehouse, and then you start hearing behind you more cultists turning around the corner, basically sandwiching you guys in between. You're basically in between like 20 or 20, 25. You're in a situation where there's so many cultists coming at you, swarming you guys right now. The only location to go is off the cliff. But again, like that's not something that that's the only way out, but that way out is not good. So basically, so you guys hold. Erin is slashing her knife at some of the cultists.
Mosh pit.
Let's see. Jeb has spent all of the bullets in his derringer. Bob shoots until he's out. Let's say a 6-shooter. So you've got you've gone through a few, but they keep coming. They grab you all. They take you to. They take you inside. They pull each and every one of you. And they've got your hands bound behind your back, and so there's several on each one of you. So Sarah's towards the back of the group. You hear as Mike, as Aaron is being moved, you hear a clang, and you hear you drop a few things. And as you're being moved, and then you hear a struggle behind you, and you can hear Sarah, "Let me go!" And she basically she bites a couple of them, and she's able to kind of slip a little bit. She kind of goes limp and just kind of drops through, and then she falls down on the ground, and they pick her back up, and then they continue to move you guys into the actual warehouse. The section. As you guys walk in, there is the circle area where those the feces shamans, I don't know, the cultists there. So they start moving you around, and they start and they both kneel you all around the symbol itself. The main cultist, or one of the cultists comes up and says, "What is your purpose? Do you know?"
Who's he face to face with?
He's just kind of looking at all of you. You all are kind of like down and around the circle, but he's sort of in the middle. He's in actually the middle of the circle. You guys are kind of in between some of the cultists that are actually chanting right now.
Are they chanting in Latin?
I don't know. Maybe yes.
If they are, I know what they're saying. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, no. Let's just say no.
All right. Well, is the man positioned to where I can kick him in the knees?
You're basically you're down on your knees right now, and it's almost kind of like you're in an execution type, like kneeling, like they're forcing you to kneel down.
Told you kids to run. Told you to run. Oh hell. Oh hell.
Okay.
It's all right, dog.
Aaron, can you roll a spot for me?
Mm-hmm.
And as you do that, Cade, you look over to Sarah. You look and you see her. She's looking at you with kind of a worry in her eyes, like an apology. So she looks at you, with that in her eyes, and she points, and you see her that she does have, like in her jacket or whatever, you can see her pull out a piece of paper, and you can make out that it is the map that you all had looked at before, that you had seen previously in the library. And
Is there any way I could get it from her, or would I need to like cause a scene and maybe stumble into her and we can
I
pass
got
it
a
off that way?
scene in the works, bud.
Okay.
Distraction right now.
So yeah, let's pause some of this. So yes, so that has already transpired. So Bob, be thinking about what you want to do there, and then Jeb, we'll have you interject here in just a minute, and
Fantastic.
perfect. And then Mike or Aaron, let's tell me what your
17.
17.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So she looks over at you, Sarah does, and she mouths the words, she kind of gives you a like a I'm sorry look, and then she mouths the words, the map. And let's see, and then she says, so she yells, she says the map to you, and then she says, use the leaf with the map. And then at that point the distractions start. So let's go ahead and Jed, let's go ahead and have you start.
All right, listen here, young whippersnapper. I am an emissary of the Esoteric Order of Dagon. And I tell you what, we've been sitting here to make sure y'all are on point. And this kind of bullshit right here, this isn't going to stand. We're not here to be tied up and set in a damn circle. You don't do this to honorary members. You don't do it at all.
And mind you, this whole bluff thing is at a 23.
And I tell you what there, kids, when they find out, when the rest of the order hears and Lord Dagon is made aware, you'll be sorry. You'll see. Oh, it'll be bad.
And I go on ranting about how bad things will be for the cultists if they do not release us.
Okay. So Bob, what is Cade doing at this point?
Listening to Jed, and I guess he's got their attention.
Correct. Yes. You see sort of like the other cultists. They're kind of like looking around. They're sort of distracted a little bit, just kind of looking at like each other, quantifying coldly, like what does this mean? Like together, like they're trying to
Jed is
process.
actually screaming about.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know any way to do this quietly or without them seeing, since there's so many. So I'm going to try to stand up and where's Sarah in relation to me? Is she on my right or my left?
Yeah, she's pretty close. She's probably it's her at the end, then it's probably like Aaron, and then you, and then Jed on the other side. So she's on the opposite side of where Jed is like screaming and stuff. So a lot of their attention is kind of on Jed. So you're sandwiched in between Aaron and Sarah. Or sorry,
Okay.
no, that didn't say that right. Anyway,
It's
Aaron,
like Jed, me,
Aaron is
Aaron, Sarah?
sandwiched Aaron is sandwiched in between you and Sarah.
Okay. I'm going to, favor that way towards Sarah, and I'm going to try to stand up, and I know what's going to happen. I'm either going to get knocked down, but I'm going to try to fall into Sarah where I can grab this map and conceal it.
Okay, it'll have to be like a really explosive type of a move. So you're basically kind of like planning and just, almost
and then I jump up
launching
like
you're basically going to be launching the person because they're going to have a hold of you. You're just hoping that can break the.
That is what I'm going to try to do.
Okay.
And that's going to be a 14.
Okay, so a 14. Okay, you're able to blast away. But as you're doing that, you sort of slip and you fall with the person, and you do kind of fall into Aaron, but Aaron and her person just kind of knock over onto Sarah. So you're not any closer. You're kind of it'll take you a little bit to kind of stand up and to be able to do anything. But anyway, you kind of started the dominoes.
I like grab the map as I fall over, or like with my teeth and my hands are bound, just like.
So let's see. So would you be able to? So have. Oh yeah, she said the map to you. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and try that. So y'all would be pretty close. So let's go ahead and say that that she was able to get you the map, and she gives you a hug, and she grabs the knife out, and she spins into the circle, and then she slits her throat, and collapses right in the middle of the circle. You can tell that it is a sacrifice, much like the one that Lawrence did previously the day before, or the place before where you were at the bookstore. But you see that this was one of a self-sacrifice. This was something different than what Lawrence had did. Lawrence had slit the throat of the occultist, and then of course you see Lawrence get shot at that point and died before you guys started to feel the effects. And then anyway, so that starts to race through your head. You remember some words, but as all that's happening again, Aaron, sounds start to muffle. You hear chanting. You can hear the cultists yelling. The ones that had soiled themselves. You can still hear them chanting. You hear screaming. It's your screaming, and then a high-pitched ringing overwhelms your senses. Jed, your stomach starts to cramp into knots. You feel hot all of a sudden. You feel your stomach emptying attempting to push stomach bile up to your throat, and you feel like you're going to heave. Cade, as you look around at everyone, specifically Sarah, your peripheral vision starts to close and close in, only allowing you to see exactly what you are witnessing. What are you seeing from Sarah?
As she's slitting her throat.
So this is at the point where she's slit her throat. She's kind of slumped over, and you can kind of see that there's a little bit of stare in her eyes, but you see like her kind of like pulsing, not really like for air or gasping for air, but you can see the heart beating each time, and you just see gushes of blood come out, and you see a look in her eye like, I love you.
And I reach out as because you said my vision's like
Correct.
tunnel vision,
Right, and that's all you see is her.
Yeah. I reach out, but everything is getting long. Like my arm gets real long.
Yeah, that's cool.
My fingers get real long. You know, like I'm being pulled back, but you know I'm being stretched. If you can get what I mean.
Sure.
It's like I'm being pulled through a tunnel. I'm seeing this as it's closing, and it's not necessarily closing, but it's getting farther away.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the last thing that you see is her. She actually brings out another map, let's see. So in the scuffle, she brings out the map from Aaron. You can see it on her eyes, and then she pulls it to where you can see, and you can see the actual map itself. It's a little bit different than you remember your map, but it's very close to it. But that's the last thing you see, and that's going to be a very memorable impression. Let's see. Give me one last roll. Whatever you think your best ability for spot, for investigation, for I'm not sure what we'd be rolling for other than like a deduction type thing.
I'll gather information, which I have a 10 and rolled a 19, so 29.
Okay, perfect. So what you see is before everything goes black, everything tunnel visions into this, and what you see is the last thing. Basically, so if you're staring at something, and then it's the illusion trick, like where you're staring at something white for a while, and then you go and you look, or you close your eyes, and then you see that outline. So the outline of that leaf that you saw, that we saw before, that was the glowing leaf. But you see it more stick-like, more road-like, and you can see that each end ends in a specific place, and it's the shape of the actual leaf itself. But what you see and what you notice is behind it is the map, and you can kind of make out that each end of the leaf is in a specific location. With that
So
being
it's like an overlay.
Correct, yeah. So you just you're seeing that the leaf overlays on the actual the map.
Okay.
So at that point, everything slowly envelops to complete blackness. You wake. Everything starts to come back to you. Your sounds become unmuffled. You begin to hear metallic grinding. You hear sound of a hissing, and then you hear doors open, and you hear people talking, and you're kind of bumped forward, and you lean forward. Aaron, you're bumped forward and you fall down, or you don't fall down. You just kind of slide down a little bit, and you step onto what looks like a platform. You look up. It's light out. You look around. You see that you're under a pavilion, and across from you is a train station. You look to your right, and then you see Jed hobbling, trying to sideways step his way down the stairs so that he can so that his knees don't bother him as much with his cane. And then you look across, and you see a man sitting through a crowd of people. You're able to make out a man sitting on a bench with a newspaper, looking up over, kind of looking around, but noticing, searching, and then coming and making eye contact with you. And then you look to and then the man behind the newspaper looks over to his right at another section of the train where the doors have opened and people have started to get off. He sees 1 or 2 to 3 people. You all look at each other, and you immediately recognize each other. You look over to the left. You see a dead body with officers surrounding that. What you know is Sarah. You look to your left, so you're looking at that, and then you see a man walk up to you, Aaron, and say, "Howdy, ma'am. It's nice to meet you. My name's seems like my name's Lawrence. What's your name?" And that's the end.
I'm gonna burn this damn train station down before this is all over.
I was thinking the same thing needed to happen to the White House. Then,
right.
we lost our element of surprise really quick.
Well, cool. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up for the stream. So again, we appreciate you guys bearing with us and kind of working through this game, kind of improvising through the game as we go through some of the story. We hope you're enjoying some of the story, and if you'd like to come play RPGs, go ahead and join the Facebook group, join the Discord group, and also too, if you love watching or have time to listen to people play RPGs, check out the Dice Stream for live plays there. That's a great job there with everyone on the actual Invictus stream doing that, and also too on Wednesdays. Make sure to catch that weekly stream. So anyway, we appreciate you guys. This is Chris. Say bye, Bob.
Bye, Bob.
Say bye, Terry. Say bye, Mike.
Bye, darling.
See y'all.
Have fun, guys.
See ya. We'll see y'all around the table.
Word.
See what you did there.